Hello race fans, Peter Mackay here, welcoming you to the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship, live here from beautiful Montreal. Joining me in the commentary box this evening is a man who knows these cars inside out, upside down and round around. It's Dane Baird. Dane, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you, Peter. And for those watching, he literally does mean upside down. This track has some history with me in this car, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a good one. We've got 32 cars here, and I'm looking forward to some good racing.
Indeed. Don't worry, Dane. I'll be sure to mention it regularly throughout the broadcast. Also bringing you these lovely images of this quite fickle street circuit here in Montreal. The circuit Gilles Villeneuve is Marco Barbanera in the production booth, bringing all the camera angles, graphics and what have you. The drivers are just going out for their qualifying session as it stands. And Dane, this track has been the kind of centre of attention for the Porsche Cup world here on iRacing. It's a very popular car in the service, and last weekend a number of hopefuls hoping to qualify for the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup took here, and well, it was certainly fiercely contested. I'm sure it will be the same tonight as well.
Yeah, absolutely. These cars do actually race pretty well around here, which is a little bit surprising. It's a very tight circuit, lots of chicane-style corners as we're coming up to one now with the 199 of Ricard Carlson, before I butcher that one. But yeah, it's a very tight and twisty circuit, but there are a couple of good overtaking opportunities, one being this hairpin just in the middle of the circuit. There we go, switching back to him. There is the hairpin. It's a difficult one to make a move there, but it's definitely possible. And the next one down this long back straight.
Indeed, yeah, some good drafting opportunity down the casino straight into the chicane and the dreaded wall of champions. And we saw, well, when we came here a few weeks ago for the Apex Racing Academy GT4 series, slowdown penalties were very much a talk of the day here at that particular corner. The track limits are fiercely defended at that particular part of the circuit. As you see, Ricard Carlson goes to start his flying lap into the Senna S, and we're riding on board. It gives you a great look inside this beautiful 911 GT3 Cup machine, a machine we see used all over the world, in the real world, in the Porsche Super Cup and various regional Carrera Cup championships as well. It's a bit of a beast, isn't it, Dane? It's 485 horsepower, no traction control, no ABS. You're very much on your own with this race car.
Absolutely, and the fact that it's a rear engine makes it have some unique properties, to say the very least. It's very squirrely under braking and through the corners. It is pretty easy to lose the rear end, seemingly at random, but it's a very fun car once you get the hang of it. And yeah, it's a fan favorite. It seems a lot of drivers seem to love driving this car. It's very popular over recent times, especially since the introduction of the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup. A lot of drivers said, "Oh, I'll give that a try," and they've stuck around, which is good to see. It's a very fun little car to drive.
It really is. I mean, I think it's probably one of the best cars on the circuit for giving a real challenge and a real life difficulty of driving a race car. Some of the other GT3 machines can kind of feel like you're driving a Skeletric car. They're so planted, particularly the BMW. But this car is a whole category to itself, if you like. The 911 GT3 is Ricard Carlson just backing. My apologies. The 141, I think, is that now. Who is in the Apex Racing Academy car? Is that Emil Winbo in that car?
No, that is your fellow Scotsman.
It's Daniel McCauley is in that car. I do apologise. Normally we see Emma Winbo in the Apex Racing Academy car. On the subject of the Apex Racing Academy, all the drivers taking part in the championship get access to Apex Racing Academy setups. And in the ranks here at Apex Racing, we have a couple of drivers in fact, 3 who are automatically qualified for next season of the Tag Heuer Porsche Esports Super Cup. Most notably Kevin Ellis Jr., who actually finished equal on points in 4th place with Max Benecke, who is the highest rated driver on iRacing, with an iRating of over 11,000. And Kevin is very much involved with the setups for Apex Racing Academy. So that's what these drivers have access to. And Dane, you've competed at a good level in these cars in the Porsche Sport Carrera Cup. How important is setup for this car specifically? Because I personally believe, in my opinion, it's probably one of the most sensitive cars to a good setup, or not.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of drivers that I personally know have actually been turned off by this car. Quite a few of them actually have been turned off by this car because they ran it on a baseline setup, and it's a very understeery car if you don't have a very good setup. And a lot of these drivers you'll see have some oversteer, but that's really how you need to set the car up to drive it fast. Really, it's like you said, it's very sensitive to a good setup. And that will definitely help out these drivers. Not all of them they don't have to run the academy setup, but they all do have access to it as part of this league. So you would assume that quite a fair few of these drivers are running that setup made by Kevin Ellis Jr. But looking through the timing towers, and it's very close there. The top 3 drivers at the top, separated by less than 0.2 of a second.
Indeed, yes, very close indeed. I tell you what, Dane, you'd have to be pretty brave to go against the setup of Kevin Ellis Jr., that's for sure. I tell you what, that setup would be good enough for me, that's for sure. Of course, we're here at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve on the streets of Montreal, and of course, the circuit, when it was originally created, the first Grand Prix here in 1978, was actually called the Circuit Notre Dame at that point, and the first GP, quite fittingly, was won by Gilles Villeneuve. And for many, Gilles Villeneuve was one of the most exciting racing drivers ever to have lived. And although he only won 6 Grand Prix, his legacy is far more than that. And the circuit, following his untimely death, the circuit was renamed in his honour. But you've got to almost channel the spirit of Gilles here, Dane, because of those 6 Grand Prix, 3 of his Grand Prix were on street circuits. He won once at Monaco, once here, and once at Long Beach in the United States as well.
Yeah, absolutely. To quote Jolyon Palmer, I'm going to say you have to be careful at street circuits, and you definitely do have to be careful here. The walls are very close, not necessarily the whole way around the circuit, as you can see here. Through the first few corners here, there's a fair amount of runoff that I've found myself using more often than I would like. But around the rest of the circuit, especially the middle sector, the walls on the exits of the corners are very, very close, and I'm expecting to see quite a few drivers pushing the limits just a little bit too far and maybe giving them a bit of a tap.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very close. I mean, we saw in the Super Session for the Porsche Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup qualifiers, our very own Zach Campbell unfortunately fell victim to the melee going into the Senna S's. It's certainly attritional in the real world when the Formula One guys come here, but particularly so in sim racing. So we'll have to watch for that. As you can see at the top of your screen, you'll see a little green icon for Pro and a red icon for Am. That is basically to determine which class the drivers are running in. All the cars are identical, but if you see a little green icon to the left of the driver's name, that means they're in the Pro class. And the red icon is if they are in the AM class. As we see, Nielsen goes to the top, 135.980, 30 thousandths of a second ahead of Lund. And Nick Madsen, the standout driver in the championship so far, the number 114, he goes to third. So they're starting to, lots of green lap times, lots of fastest laps going in here, Dane, just before the end of qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely. All the drivers picking up the pace a little bit. Madsen's done extremely well. He's only been driving since round 2 at Imola, where he won both races, and then he almost did the same last week at Okayama, where he won race number 1, but unfortunately fell foul to some incidents at the start of the second race, and he wasn't quite able to make his way all the way back up to the top, although I do believe he finished third in that race. So he's done exceptionally well. Remember, there is a drop week, of course, so only the top 5 of 6 race finishes for each of these drivers will count towards the final championship standings. So he does have that drop week that he can use for round number 1, which he didn't attend. So he is near the end of the season going to be right back up there.
He really will be, yeah. As we see, whoa, big almost touring car launches off the wall there, and just a little bump there for Kevin Nielsen, but he's already got pole position in the bag. Now, is anyone going quicker? Doesn't look like it on track right now, so it looks like Nielsen is going to be on top unless Nick Madsen can pull out a big last sector here. Uses loads of room on the exit of the World of Champions chicane down towards the finish line. He goes. Does he improve? No, he does not. Yes, he does. My apologies. That timing screen, it gets me every time. 136.289 for Nick Madsen. He will start third on the grid. And of course, we're going to watch for Ferrari and Larn as well. And oh my word, this is a bright paint scheme. God, this makes your 911 Dane look like look like the inside of a prison cell.
Yeah, it reminds me of Matthias Beer from the GT4 VRS Super Series from Apex Racing League. Oh, and that's a spinner. As the clock runs out, I'm not too sure who that was actually that we were just looking at, but there was a spin right at the end there, which invalidated the lap time, and that means qualifying is over and the grid is on the screen.
Indeed, so confirming then the Great Dane, Kevin Nielsen, 135.980. Another Great Dane, Casper Lund in third, and another Great Dane in third, and a slightly average one joining me here in the commentary box. Fourth is Ivo Lobshirt, the Swiss driver, alongside Roberto Ferrari, followed by Salvatore Larney, Lewis Ward, Michael Schlacks, Daniel McCauley from Scotland, Rickard Carlson, Bob Humphrey, and Logan Walker. In 13th, Luke Maxwell will be join Daniel Mazzano on the 7th row. Pete Wadsworth will be alongside Angelo De Silis, Mark Jones, Vince Harley, Kev Copeland, Tim Perry, Joseph Saul, Jensen Andreessens, John Tresidder, Paul Doman, and that almost runs out of runners. 25, Daniel Parmalee, Daniel Peham, Alok Iyengar, Trevor Humphrey, Jack Reeve, Thor Tulo, Jeffrey Arroyan, and Aaron Smith. 32 cars for this. This is going to be busy, isn't it, Dane? Here at Montreal, 32 cars around here. That is going to be tight going down into turn one. Watch for the drivers to be making some moves there, and making them cleanly is not going to be easy.
No, absolutely. Very easy to find yourself 3 wide heading into turns 1 and 2, which is not ideal at all because the track very quickly narrows through that sequence of corners, and you'll very easily find yourself on the grass on the outside or on the inside. We saw enough carnage with only 20 cars on the grid for the Porsche Sport Carrera Cup. I can't imagine what it's going to be like with 32. It's going to be interesting to say the least. And remember that there is a 16-car reverse grid for race number 2, which was decided at random between 8 and 16, 16 being the max, and that's what we have today.
Indeed, a British Touring Car Championship-esque. So the lights are up. We wait for them to illuminate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Revs are up. And we are green at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And it's go, go, go in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Series. Down they go then into the Senate S's team, being very, very careful. The 3 Danes up at the front. And oh, we've got that's Wadsworth gone off as well at the back there, but the main part of the group have got away cleanly, and it's Nielsen defending the lead from pole position. Good start from him.
Yeah, there was a bit of carnage in the midfield, sort of the lower end of the top 10. One driver spinning all on his own, I believe, was either Laubsch. Yes, it was. He's dropped all the way down to 24th. 20 positions dropped for him from where he started. Wadsworth has just retired to the pit as
in the background.
Angelo De Cellist.
Is that Ferrari? It is. It's Ferrari. Oh my word, that's scary.
Oh, and there's another car on the wall.
There we are. Park it for now. Oh, it's narrow down there as well, isn't it? Not where you want to crash, but Wadsworth is out. He's in the pits. Silas is in the pits as well, taking a fast repair. Down they go into the hairpin for the very first time. Very, very tight through there. And I tell you what, the 3 Great Danes out the front doing a great job. Of course, the list of great Danish racing drivers is, well, it's about to get longer, it would appear, Dane.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at this massive train of cars you can see riding on board with Nielsen then. He's third on the timing tower, but he is first overall. A little bit of a touch to the wall on the grass as well. A big slide from Lewis Ward as well in 4th. Drivers really finding it difficult to stay on track here. And they start lap number 2. Wadsworth and DeChillis fall down the timing tower. Obviously retired back to the pit lane already. A couple of drivers entering the pit lane as well with damage, going for their fast repair. The drivers get 1 fast repair per race. And I think we're going to see quite a few of those being used today.
Yep, well, they're there to be enjoyed, there to be used when you're in your time of need. So yes, I think we will see them. Of course, only 20 minutes of this sprint race here at Montreal for this opening encounter of the day. The reverse grid race a little bit longer. So there's a little bit of time to work your way through the pack. As you see Ricard Carlson in the Hell Racers car in the 199, jinking around there, trying to get a move on. Oh, spinner! Oh my word, that's a big one. That is a big one. That was Walker, Logan Walker, I think. Oh, stay there. Oh, God, it's so tight when you make a mistake here, Dane.
Absolutely. It's your worst nightmare around here is not crashing, it's seeing someone else crash in front of you. I think is a good way to put it. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a slowdown.
Oh, now there you go. Casper Loon was in second place, and he's just made a slight mistake on track limits there, folks, and that has cost him to serve what's called a slowdown penalty. And look, he's dropped all the way down to 5th, 3 seconds off the leader, and Nielsen and Madsen are off at the front. We've also got Lewis Ward, the number 97, in 3rd there as well. Quick lap, goodness me, quick time there from Nielsen in the number 5 car. Very impressive indeed. In the Flying Lemon, that car of Nielsen. And the custom liveries behind him as well. Nick Madsen, he's made his way through to 2nd spot. Now here's the question, Dane. Can he chase down Nielsen? It's going to be a tough ask. Nielsen's absolutely throwing down the gauntlet early on here.
Yeah, definitely, and he seems to have a fairly clean car as well. Madsen does not. He's got quite a bit of damage to the front right of his car, which won't affect him too much. His cars don't have a lot of downforce, so you won't feel the damage so much, but it might affect him down the straights. Here is a new livery for Laubscher. I almost didn't recognize it for a second. I did like the old one, but that is a very nice new one that he's got on there, but a little bit of a slide from Saul in the background.
Yep, and a very simple, nice and easy, almost like the Nielsen's the plucky privateer, and he's a car he's wrapped himself in his own garage and brought it out and put it on pole and leading this race by nearly 2 seconds in that car. Almost looks like a 911 GT3 road car, that number 5 of Nielsen, but a big train forming up behind Nick Madsen, and I wonder if, like you said, Dane, that little bit of damage, I wonder if that's hampering his straight line speed a little bit at this stage.
Yeah, it might do, and obviously, oh, that's Bob Humphrey, championship standings leader, if I'm not mistaken. What's happened to him as we right into the final chicane? Oh, he's got on that curb all wrong, just manages to keep it out of the wall, but he's going to lose a couple of places.
Good save, really good save. That would, I don't know how he kept that one in a relatively straight line. Very impressive there from Humphrey, but that drops him down the order back to 10th place, just ahead of the AM class leader of Kev Copeland, who is in 11th right now, with a big gaggle of AM class drivers fighting for the class win there. Equally as fiercely contested is the AM class, but well, this is some start to this race from Kevin Nielsen, doing a brilliant job here. Is Kevin, of course. As I say, though, a huge list of very impressive Danish racing drivers. Tom Christensen, Kevin Magnussen, Jan Magnussen. But in the Porsche world, of course, the Mobile 1 Super Cup, Nicky Thiem won that as well. So plenty of Danish success in this form of racing.
Absolutely. Line just made a bit of a mistake there, and Ward tried to capitalize, wasn't able to in the 197. Oh, and look how close Madsen just got to the wall on the outside there, but Ward closing down that gap. It's just about 0.3 of a second, maybe even less as they head into turn number 1. I see that being a very spicy battle.
Indeed, Lewis Ward really putting the heat on here, looking to break the Danish lockout of the podium. Lewis Ward, he's an Englishman like your good self, Dane, and his favourite car, he's got expensive taste. His favourite car is the Ferrari 250 GTO short wheelbase. So it's yes, it certainly couldn't get more expensive taste if he tried.
Oh, look at that gap. That is a hefty gap that Nielsen now has at the front. And interesting to note as well, Copeland is leading the AMS battle at the moment in 11th overall. And he's doing pretty well. He did absolutely brilliantly back at Okayama. Had a great performance there. And he's continuing his form here at Montreal. And looks like Ward has got past Lund, but Lund's going back. Trying to go around the outside there. And he just gets the door closed on him.
I tell you what, this is amazing pace from Kevin Nielsen. To be anywhere in the 136s is really hot pace. For context, that's within a second of the fastest lap times in practice for the Tag Heuer Esports Super Cup. That's professional level sim racers. So that is mighty impressive there, Dane. The laps that he's laying down at this very early stage of the race.
Yeah, definitely, and would expect him to keep decreasing as the race goes on. You can see there another green lap time for him. And yeah, he's doing a pretty good job there indeed.
Certainly is. Lots of personal bests coming in. If you see on our timing tower, the SDK Gaming graphic there on the left, you'll see when the figure goes green, that means that is that driver's personal best of the race. The one you want though is the purple, like that one that's just come up beside the third place man of Casper Lund, who's a 136.1. That is quick. Now, of course, if he hadn't made that mistake, I know it's if buts and maybes, Dane, but if he hadn't made that mistake and had to serve the slowdown, he could be right in contest for this race. And oof, with 11 minutes to go, he still is in with a shout of winning this race.
Yep, definitely. Here is Lauscher, of course, down in 15th after his turn 1 spin. He is definitely working his way up through the field. He's got Mark Jones just ahead of him, who's just got the line terribly wrong through that chicane. He's now got Lauscher all over the back of him. It's a terrifying sight seeing Lauscher behind you, I have to say. You really have to work hard to keep him behind, and Mark Jones has not been able to do that. I think he's just let him pass there. Massive wheel spin for the 250 car just ahead. I think that's Perry, or no, it's not Perry, it's Adrianson's.
It is Adrianson, so that you've got a real contrast here. You've got the map, you've got the flat black of Adrianson's car, and then you've got the really jazzy Perry and Lauscher coming through here now. Oh, does Perry have a look? This is big. Oh, they just get through there safely. Bit of flashing lights there, bit of Audi driver stuff there. Oh my word, that was close. I don't quite know how they all got through there cleanly-ish.
Yeah, that was very hairy indeed, and maybe a bit optimistic there, trying to run around the outside of the second apex there, but he did lose out the position to Lauscher. Lauscher's now right on the back of Perry. A lot of drivers going off the circuit as well. So that's they do have an incident limit here for the Porsche Cup Championship. It is 16 iRacing incident points, and I think some of the drivers might have to be starting to be a bit careful, because you do get 1Xs pretty easily around here.
Yeah, of course, it's an incredibly clever system. As we see what's going on here, this is now that looked like a corner cut there. Yep, so there you go. Michael Schlacks there having to slow down and serve effectively an automatic penalty. So the is Nick Madsen having to go very defensive here for Casper Lund, and Casper Lund is definitely on the move here in the 19 car. Down they go then towards the Senna S's. Casper Lund, I would say, is the fastest man on the track right now, just visually. And he looks to the inside. Oh, but actually, Lewis Ward going very quick as well, so he's not out of this battle, as we see a couple of drivers having to sort of slow down penalties there as well. Michael Schlack's having problems, so 2 slowdown penalties in one go. That's not good at all. But I have to say, this is a surprise, Dane, to see Nick Madsen having to drive so defensively. We've seen him be so dominant so far in his appearances in this championship.
Yeah, he has. Maybe just not finding Montreal to be one of his favourite circuits, or maybe everyone else has just stepped up the pace a little bit. But yeah, he's definitely not finding things as easy as he has been over the past couple of weeks. And London's really right on the rear of that Porsche now. He took a lot of curb there. All of the drivers running right up against the wall. And he's got to be careful as well, because if Lund gets past him, you might lose quite enough time that Ward might be able to sneak past as well. Ward's right on the back of this train as well. A little bit of contact between the 3 drivers as they head through there.
That's some very British Touring Car Championship stuff there. The old sort of just park it on the rear bumper and then someone parks it on your rear bumper and you sort of go together like a locomotive. That's very funny there. These guys racing super close here in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship, a new addition to the suite of Apex Racing leagues that we have. If you want to get involved with us here at Apex Racing League, we have touring car leagues, we have GT, Porsche Cup, and also F3 as well. As we see, here goes Lund. Lund is lunging down the inside, round the outside he goes now, and is he going to lose out to Ward? Ward's got a good drive. Here he goes. Look at Lewis Ward in the 197 car, that white and blue machine. Oh, he just thinks better of it. Now, all the while, Nick Madsen, well, you can hear him. He's going, oh, thank goodness for that. That gives me a little bit of breathing space.
Absolutely, and that's Copeland trying to go around the outside. Here we go. Let's have a replay of what's happened here. Michael Schleck's in the number 9 car. Oh, that was very, very close. Heading into the chicane, and then here goes Copeland. And they go side by side to the next sequence of corners. Copeland seems to have missed out, but he's now up into 9th, so a really good performance from him so far.
Yeah, great run from Kev Copeland. He's in 9th place, 3 spots ahead of his nearest AM class contender. So that's brilliant stuff. He's holding off the Pro Class driver of Ricard Carlson for the Hell Racers team. Certainly a nice easy paint scheme to spot on the broadcast for us commentators. Very commentator friendly livery, that one. Now Nick Madsen doing a great job here to keep Casper Lund and Lewis Ward behind him. They head down towards the Wall of Champions chicane. Now here goes Casper Lund. Is he going to try it? That's a brave place to try it. And he goes, yeah, you're probably right. And decides to, have another go. Tell you what, they're not leaving much behind on that exit there, Dane.
You can't afford to. You lose way too much time compared to the guys that do. So you really have to trust the car and trust that you've got your braking right. Trust you're not hitting the curves too hard, because you really do have to go out that wide. Otherwise, you do lose a lot of time. I saw a video from Jonathan Simon, and he was doing a tutorial around here in the F3 car, and he was showing exactly where you lose time. And over the course of a lap, just by leaving a little bit spare between yourself and the wall, you can lose up to 3/10, 4/10 of a second per lap around it.
And that's huge. That's absolutely huge in this context, as we see. Not been a good day for Schlacks in the number 9 machine. Had a bit of a spin there coming out of the Wall of Champions chicane. Just trying to gain some spots back here, right behind the number 250 of Adriensens in that lovely matte black machine, or flat black, I should say, as well, with Perry just up ahead in the 223 car. And of course, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve has been a staple of the Formula 1 calendar for such a long time, as we see Copeland having to go very defensive here to try and keep Carlson. Carlson goes onto the grass and he has to run on. Oh, dear. Nick Madsen just about hangs on to it. Tell you what, Nick Madsen is doing a great job to just keep these guys behind but not lose too much time at the same point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's written off any chance of a win here. He wants to try and keep second, try and keep those fairly large points. Oh, I say that. Nielsen's out. What's just happened to Nielsen?
Oh, don't tell me it's an internet connection. We didn't see a crash on screen. A crash?
It wasn't a
No
crash.
crash. No crash. No, I think.
Oh, he's back. He is just having very poor internet connection because he's now back. He hasn't dropped out of the session. He is back.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. His ping is 941. That might have something to do with it.
Dane, you can explain to me after the broadcast what on earth that means, but I presume it means it's bad. Yeah. So, so for Nielsen, that is for those laymen like me, that basically means that he is having a little bit of an issue with his internet connection. This is obviously very. Oh, as Casper Lund does a look up the inside, I think he's going to make it. Is he going to get it stuck? Well, he gets the place, but I think Madsen is going to get a better drive. Does he get that better drive? They're side by side going down the casino straight. Madsen, oh sorry, yeah, Madsen just about holding on here, but Lund is alongside and should be able, if he's late enough on the brakes. Oh, calm down. Oh, brilliant, brilliant, close, clean racing from both there.
Absolutely, but looks like he's going to try and come back. Is he? In towards turn 1 they go. Madsen all the way around the outside. Is it going to work? He just has to slot back. Is he going to try and send it up into turn 2? No, he's not going to have the room. Ward now right on the back of him.
Yeah, Ward is the danger man. He's right there at the back. He looked pretty racy as well in that 197 machine. Now, you got to think for Casper Lund, he did have race-winning pace, and I think that little tour behind Nick Madsen there and having to recover from a slowdown penalty, that has cost him dear. But a second place finish, not too bad. I tell you what, watch for Casper Lund coming through the pack in the reverse grid race, because he's been very, very quick. Look at the gap he's pulling out of Nick Madsen already. That is extraordinary there from Casper Lund. Wow, really impressive. So yeah, just coming back to Kevin Nielsen, he just had a little bit of a dropout there in his internet connection, and just very, very close to losing it altogether there, it would appear, and that would have dropped him out of the race. That is, in real world racing, we have engine failures. In sim racing, well, it's usually internet dropping.
Yeah, absolutely. Very common thing to see, especially on iRacing. You'll see drivers blinking in and out. As that's a huge lockup from Doman there. Oh, that was very close to recreating something that I did a couple of months ago. Luckily, the two drivers managed to escape unscathed relatively.
You mean from putting them on the roof, Dane? They escaped unscathed for you putting them on the roof?
Yeah, oh, look at that. The timing.
White flag is in the air. White flag in the air, so this is the last lap then. And Casper Lund, he's in second place, but Nick Madsen, he's had a bit of a revival. Look at him now, he's climbing all over the back of the gearbox of Casper Lund now. And oh, we've got someone running on there. That is the number 147 car of Maxwell. Just dropping a couple of spots there, but if we go back to Casper Lund, trying to hold off the advances of Nick Madsen here. I wonder if Madsen can maybe make a lunge, but through that middle part of the circuit, Casper Lund is very, very strong, and they've dropped Lewis Ward as well. Yeah,
absolutely. I thought Madsen just lost it on the brakes there. He got all sorts of squirrely there, but yeah, both of the drivers actually taking really wide lines. They're both of them touching the wall on the exit of turn 4, which is just showing the commitment there, and they have a little bit of lap traffic ahead. These cars don't have much draft, so Lund is not going to get the best advantage from that. He has about a half a second advantage over Madsen, so we'll have to wait and see if Madsen's brave enough to try and lunge one up the inside into the chicane. Coming out of the chicane is Nielsen.
So here comes Kevin Nielsen then. He is going to be your race 1 winner here at Montreal. A dominant drive for the man in the number 5 car. And who is going to get second spot? It's going to be Casper Lund, just from Nick Madsen and Lewis Ward. Now we go back to Ricard Carlson trying to put a move on Kev Copeland. Kev Copeland in the lead of the AM class. He won't want to be taken out of that position right now. On the brakes hard. Ricard Carlson very, very careful not to run into the back there of Copeland. And it's going to be a drag race to the line. But it's going to be Kev Copeland, your AM class winner and 8th overall. Brilliant drive there from the 268.
Absolutely awesome stuff from him. We've seen him do really well in the AM class over the last few races. At Okayama, he did really well. He actually, I believe, got a podium potentially, almost. He was very quick at Okayama, and he seems to be carrying that momentum forward quite considerably. There is Harley and Walker crossing the line. We're not used to seeing Walker that far down the field, I don't think. He's something's happened to him, and something has happened to Humphrey. Very unfortunate for him, and don't think he'll be points leader for much longer.
No, not been a good day at all for Bob Humphrey. It looks like he's been more Bosch Humphrey today. That car looking very unhealthy indeed. However, that should give him a reasonably good grid spot for the reverse grid race. Now, before we move on to the next race, we're going to take a very, very brief break here on Apex Racing TV for a short message from our sponsors, the Virtual Racing School.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to Montreal and the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, where we have just been treated to quite an intriguing race. A great battle for the podium there between Nick Madsen and Casper Lund. And here is confirmation of the results. A Danish 1, 2, 3. Kevin Nielsen, Casper Lund and Nick Madsen locking out the podium, with Lewis Ward just behind in 4th. Salvatore Larn was 5th, with Daniel McCauley, the Scotsman, sneaking up to 6th place there. 7th was Bob Humphrey, followed by Kev Copeland, our AM class winner, Ricard Carlson and Luke Maxwell. In 11th was Ivo Laubscher, followed by Tim Perry, Jensen Andreassens, Michael Schlacks, Mark Jones, Roberto Ferrari, Joseph Saul and Daniel Peham. Vince Harley was 19th, with Logan Walker further down than we're used to seeing him in 20th. Daniel Parmalee in 21st, followed by Alok Iyengar, Daniel Mazzano, Paul Doman, Trevor Humphrey, Aaron Smith, Thor Tolo, Jack Reeve, Pete Wadsworth, John Tresidder, Angel DeKeely, and Jeffrey Arroyan, rounding out 32 strong runners here. Now, the drivers are just out getting a short warm-up session in, just getting ready for our feature race. Just over a minute to go for our drivers. Angelo De Chili there in the 177 machine. Now, Dane, I always like to bring a fun fact for you whenever we're in the broadcast booth together. And I've got a good one for you this week. So, of course, this circuit is named after Gilles Villeneuve. And in my previous life as a booze salesman, there's a wonderful wine shop here in Scotland, in Peebles. I actually supply a lot of the racing drivers who live down in that part of the world. And there's a shop that is called Villeneuve Wines, and it opened up in the mid 80s. And the guys that opened it were big racing fans, and they're thinking, what can we call our new wine shop? And they're both big racing fans, and they thought, well, Villeneuve, Gilles Villeneuve, we're huge Gilles Villeneuve fans, and Villeneuve, of course, is a French name, albeit French-Canadian. They thought, I know, we'll call it Villeneuve Wines. And such, we have not only do we have a wine shop called Villeneuve Wines here in Scotland, of course, named after one of the best racing drivers of all time.
I think I've actually heard that before.
Oh no, you're kidding! I'm going to have to go for my backup facts now. They're not so interesting. I think you're winding me up. I think you're just having me on here.
No. I am very sure I've heard that one before.
Damn.
Probably
Okay.
from another time we've been in the booth.
Probably. You can tell I'm running out. I'll need to find some more.
Well, you got some homework to do then.
I do. Yes, I do. Need to get my homework done. Okay, saviour, the grids. Roberto Ferrari will start on pole position alongside Mark Jones. Row 2 will be Michael Schlacks and Jensen Andreessens. 5th will be Tim Perry and Ivo Lobsher. Row 4 will be Luke Maxwell and Rickard Carlson. Row 5 will be our AM-class winner from race 1, Kev Copeland and Bob Humphrey. Daniel McCauley and Salvatore Lalane will be 11th and 12th, followed by Lewis Ward, Nick Madsen, Casper Lund, Kevin Nielsen, Joseph Saul, Daniel Peham, Vince Harley, Logan Walker, Daniel Parmalee, Alok Iyengar, Daniel Mazzano, Paul Doman, and finally Trevor Humphrey, Aaron Smith, Thor Tullo, Jack Reeve, Pete Wadsworth, John Treseder, Angelo De Chili, and Jeffrey Arroyan. And breathe. Keely's now. Our Italian producer Marco Barbanera is cursing me behind the scenes here, viewer. Thank goodness you can't hear that. So we're just about in time. 3, 4, 5. Go, go, go! Green here again at Montreal, and Ferrari gets off to the lead here down into the Senna S's in the 191 car. Brilliant start from him, leaving Jones for dead in second place. Schlacks in third there, putting a lot of pressure on in third spot. Do they all get through cleanly? The front runners do at least. Oh, that was Daniel McCauley. Oh, an aggressive little Scotsman. There you go, Dane.
Oh, there's a bit of damage to a couple of the cars. I wonder if something might have happened in front. Oh, that's and that's a huge collection. And that is well. Who else has been flying every time? That is Harley. That's Vince Harley. Oh, and more contact as Smith tries to avoid him. All sorts has just gone on there. We definitely need to get a second, third, and fourth look. Someone's in the grass. Oh, he just about avoids it. Are the drivers going to be able to avoid him? I think they are. He's done a sterling job to avoid that. Oh, and another driver. That's Manzano off. He's just reversed, and I'm sure there was just more contact there. Yes, there was. More contact at the hairpin. What's all gone wrong here at the start of race 2? Another driver's flipped.
Oh, my word. This is chaos here at Montreal. My word. Well, reverse grid races are known for it. Montreal is known for it. Well, that was a bit like throwing a mint into a Pepsi bottle, Dane.
Absolutely, and they're still going side by side, 3 rows back into the chicane. I cannot imagine this going well. They haven't just done that. They have.
Oh.
How have they done that?
I don't know. That was that like you say, a recipe for disaster. But Humphrey just gets by. Ward going to have a look now on Daniel McCauley. He does get through. Wow. Well, one of the most high-profile. Well, the driver that there you go. Commentator's curse. The guy that I tipped to watch for the race win here, Casper Lund. He was unfortunately an innocent bystander to that incident there, and his race done. Oh, wow. Really, really chaotic start to this race here at Montreal in this 30-minute encounter. here in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship. Let's try and dissect the replay. So there's Lund. He's already got his damage, you can see there. And then bang, Vince Harley. Well, the luck of the Irish is not with him today. Oh, and he just gets, it's just like he's in a bar brawl and he's got 4 or 5 different guys just landing punches on him one after the other. And all the while, Roberto Ferrari's looking in his mirror going, where is everybody?
Absolutely. Oh, there's Humphrey passing the other Humphrey. Now, which Humphrey is that? That's Bob Humphrey. Trevor Humphrey in 16th. I believe Bob Humphrey's father. So,
Hence the double hump.
you know, I never thought that through before. After 3 rounds of this series, I never realized. You've enlightened me there.
There you go, finally. So, as we see Lewis Ward making a move on Nick Madsen. This matters for championship points. Ward goes through. Ferrari puts in the fastest lap of the race at 1:37.7. Oh, Ward's had a slowdown penalty. Oh, look at that. All the cars just streaming by. Nothing he can do about it. Oh, my word. Now, here comes the 292 of Harley with a much more healthy-looking 911. So he's taken his fast repair. He's about over a lap down now. So I'll just have to do what he can from there. And of course the Humphreys running a very nice Falcon tyre inspired liveries. We see the 147 of Perry having a big look up the inside.
Absolutely. And Maxwell's just passed him. Oh dear, Carlson's around in the S there. And I can only imagine that he's just lost it midway through the first.
Oh no.
And or has there been contacts? There has, I'm sure that, yep. There.
Oh. Now, I'd like to see that on board from Nielsen, the number 5 car, because I think he might have already been losing it. Maybe not. I shall reserve judgment. So here we go then. Riding on board with Nielsen. Has a look up the inside. Was there contact? Yes, just the tiniest touch. And of course, in these cars, Dane, they don't need much encouragement to get into a spin.
Absolutely not. Unfortunately for Nielsen there, he also got a bit of a hit to the side. And you might be able to see there's probably going to be a bit of damage. That was a very clean move into the chicane.
Yes, indeed it was, yeah. So, another fastest lap of the race from Ferrari. Madsen goes quicker, but only by 0.2. So Ferrari are on really strong pace right now. There's Lewis Ward. He's still in 12th. He had that slowdown penalty has really cost him because he was right there with Nick Madsen. Nick Madsen is now up to 8th. About 10.5 seconds off the lead, but we know that Madsen's got good pace and he's got 25 minutes to make his way to the front.
Absolutely. He has plenty of time left. Here is Saul, and there is Mark Jones. Someone I've done a lot of racing with, and then he's just gone a little bit deep on the brakes there. But he is currently leading by a considerable distance the AM Championship right now. Not Championship, the AM's race.
It would appear nobody is keeping up with the Jones at this stage. So, oh, Madsen slides. Madsen got a big old slide on there. He just about hangs on to it. I don't think there was contact, but Madsen backing it into the hairpin there, just about hangs on to it, but that's cost him. Daniel McCauley looming in the background there in the Apex Racing Academy machine, that white, green and black car, side by side with the number 127 of Larn, Salvatore Larn. Down they come into the chicane. Interesting though, it's in the 127 of Larn. That's actually where if you take the ferry over from Scotland to Northern Ireland, Larn is the name of the ferry port you arrive at.
You learn something new every day.
There you go. There you go.
There's a fact I didn't know.
There you go. It's even more pointless than normal. So let's see. We'll look at Kevin Nielsen. He's on the back of this pack now. He's up to 9th spot. Madsen just up ahead. There's Daniel McCauley. And look at the drive that Kevin Nielsen gets. Is he going to jink to the inside? He does. Has he got space? He does. Macaulay, being the ever polite Scot, gives him the room, and there he goes. Through he goes. I'm so impartial to him.
Oh, so impartial. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Good move by Nelson, though. I thought he might just send it right into the back of Macaulay then, as they came around the fast right-hander. From that onboard view, it definitely looked like he was going to, but he didn't. Did well in the number 5 car, and yeah, up into 8th now. He's got Larn ahead of him.
Indeed, yep. So next up, Salvatore Larn in the North Sim Racing car. The very jazzy sort of yellowy wheels on that car. Very nicely. Lots going on that paint scheme, but it works. It looks nice. Some great. I tell you what, of course, now, tell me, Dane, do we have a favourite livery competition like we have in other Apex Racing Academy series?
We do.
Oh, okay. Any favourites of yours so far?
If I'm gonna go with one, I would probably pick Porsche. I am a fan of the Positively sim racing liveries. I like the old one better, I think, but the new one is still pretty nice, I think.
I have to say that does look really, really good. There is quite a similar one, the 223. Is it Jones? I think is in a yes. That one is quite cool as well. The inside is, well, it looks like someone's either blown their nose or thrown up in it, one of the two. But it's outside, it looks fantastic.
I do like Madsen's as well. Madsen's livery is quite nice as well. Oh, look at that, Nielsen up the inside of Larn. That was a very interesting move up into the. Yes, he likes that. He likes the S for a bit of an overtaking spot. He does.
Yeah, he really does. Yeah, he sets it up well. He gets the drive out the previous corner, and then just puts it on the gearbox. And of course, when you see the winner of the previous race just sitting on your gearbox, you kind of think, maybe just roll over here. And I think he's definitely playing to that. I have to say, I like the. I'm a big fan of the Falcon Tire livery, which we see quite a lot at the Nürburgring. There it is, the number 220. Of course, the Team Humphrey, the team double hump, using the. Oh, look underneath the. Have you seen underneath the wing there? Underneath the wing, it says. It says. I presume that's Humphrey Senior in that car.
It is.
The 220. That's very good. That's very good. I like that. I like that. Fair play to Mr. Humphrey Senior there, because I tell you what, I couldn't even get my dad to sit in the rig. He would just say, "Oh no, that's just nonsense. That's just a toy. No." So fair play to Mr. Humphrey. And Humphrey Senior. Now is Humphrey Senior ahead of Humphrey Junior?
Yep.
He is. Yes. Oh, that's gonna sting.
Humphrey Jr.'s had a string of bad luck, of course, and yeah, he's down 23rd. Not where we're used to seeing him. Obviously, race winner, the last race that we had at Okayama, race 2, he did win that, albeit due to a gift. The gift of all gifts from the Lewis Wald, but he did win that one, so we know he's pretty quick. But yeah, getting absolutely outplayed by his father.
Indeed, yeah, that is bragging rights in the family there. Third of the way through this race and it's all happening. Look at this, Nick Madsen going round the outside here of Perry in the 223 car. To go to take the cutback. No, great defence there from Perry. And Nick Madsen not getting all his own way. And look who's just on a tear. It's Kevin Nielsen. He's now in the draft here. Or side by side, Nick Madsen in that white, yellow and black car. It's very, very tight. Who is going to flinch? Who's got the guts? Who's got the stupidity to have a go for this? Oh! Just tell you what, I don't quite know how they got through there safe.
No, absolutely. They're very close here. Through the chicane, that was very sketchy. Is Madsen going to have a look? He just backs out. No, he doesn't. He sends it because Perry's run wide, and that's allowed Nielsen to go around his outside as well. Madsen really not getting the exit that he would have needed. 3 wide, they go towards turn 3.
Oh, Nielsen's got the inside line here. A little bit later on the brakes, he takes the corner, gets good respect there from Perry, and Madsen and Nielsen are now through. But we know that Nielsen, he is the guy with a lot of pace underneath that car. Now, interestingly, As, Salvatore Larn has a big lunge up the inside, but Perry still defends. And Daniel McCauley there, ready to profit at any moment. And Lewis Warden for fun as well. This is a brilliant gaggle here. Now, this is the thing that I love about Porsche Cup racing here on iRacing, Dane, is that in the real world, to be quite honest, the racing with these cars is usually pretty bland. But in iRacing, it's always fantastic.
It certainly is. That's why we love it. That's why we have a league of it. Drivers love it too, which is great. And there goes Scotsman up the inside. Oh, very loose on the exit. And that's going to allow Ward through.
Oh, I am completely impartial about that. Oh, damn. I mean, sorry. Daniel McCauley, my fellow countryman, as you see the 223 of Perry looking to have a look along Larn. I am joking, of course, viewers, of course. I'm completely impartial, of course. So Lewis Ward here, you can tell he's desperately got a lot of pace on that car. He's desperately trying to make his way up through the field, looking up the inside at the S's. He's not got the whole corner yet. Oh, does he get it sealed up? Yes, he does. Good move there from Lewis Ward. And I tell you what, this is like a motorcycle race. There's so much overtaking. Fantastic stuff. If you're new to sim racing, well, this is what it's about. Proper firm racing. And how entertaining indeed here on Apex Racing TV. If you want to take part in this championship, we have 2 rounds left and we have wildcard spots available. Pop onto our website, apexracingacademy.com. Oh, and that's the 295 of Jack Reeve, who's in the wall. So, side by side here, Daniel McCauley looking up the inside. Does he have the corner? He's going for the Nielsen. Oh, this is very close. Go, careful, guys. Oh, Logan Walker there in the background too, wanting to get some, and Daniel McCauley goes up into 9th place.
Oh, it's a big lunge. Is he going to be able to stop it in time? Just about.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to get that pulled up there, Dane. I thought that was a T-bone steak there, but so Humphrey Senior, Trevor Humphrey. Oh, tell you what, that's a fierce defence, my word. Oh, hang on to it, come on.
Oh,
son, Humphrey Jr. goes by. He's going, see you later, Dad. Cheers. Brilliant. Oh, Trevor Humphrey's having a disaster. Do you know what? You could tell he just had it. He had his speech planned. He knew what he was going to say to his dear son Bob, and he well, he's not going to get that opportunity now, it would appear. Bob,
I would love to see an off-board shot of the front of Bob's car there. I want to see if he flashed his lights.
I don't think he did. No, I think he did have a big moment though. You saw he had to throw a big load of opposite lock. He's like, look, you can tell he was unsighted, going, oh, cheers, Dad. See you later. Tell you what, when I used to in a previous life, Dane, I actually wanted to be a professional golfer, so I used to play golf with my dad quite a lot, and I was better than him. But I tell you what, when I first was able to start hitting the ball further than him when I was a teenager, oh my. The pride of the first time you smash one 10 yards past your dad, it was, it made you feel 10 foot tall.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty funny story there. But Maxwell and Jones having a battle for 3rd. They've got a hefty gap in front and they've got a hefty gap behind. They're going to go racing. Maxwell to the inside, down the back straight. Side by side into the braking zone. Maxwell deep on the brakes. He's not getting that slowed down. Surely not. How has he done that? Just about, but gets the exit so badly that Mark Jones just drives straight back past, saying, thank you very much. I'll keep my 3rd position.
Yeah, good recovery there from Jones. It looked like he wasn't really giving up too much of a defence, and nor does he need to. He's in 3rd place, but he's leading the AM class by a considerable margin. You have to look all the way down to 11th to Perry and Saul in 12th as well for the next AM class runners. So he's in a great spot right now to get a huge haul of points over his competitors. Now we're riding on the nose cam of Kevin Nielsen. Now here he goes. Here comes the Nielsen corner. Oh, do you think Madsen's seen that one before? Maybe. He had it covered straight away and he blocks him off. Brilliant stuff from both.
Absolutely good defense from Madsen. Nielsen not able to go around the outside there. Around the outside is really not where you want to be through the middle sector there, and he's just not going to be able to make a move here. That's effectively suicide. Now down towards the hairpin. I don't think he's going to be close enough. 2/10 is the gap. He just makes his presence known. I think he's not actually gone for a move there, surely. No, he hasn't. Very close though. A little bit of wheel spin on the exit for both of them. Now they're going down the back straight, and just ahead of them, Jones once again under pressure from Maxwell.
Yep, Maxwell is definitely keeping up with the Jones now. Into the chicane we go. Oh, they're very just leaning on the brakes, but great respect from both, running so close together, side by side, or bumper to bumper basically. And Nick Madsen, he has got big problems in the form of Kevin Nielsen in the background there. Oh my word, he's going to have to really defend hard. He's still got just under 12 minutes to go in this race. So they're very, very close indeed. Now, I wonder here, will Kevin Nielsen try, well, what is now known as the Nielsen at the next hairpin, at the next chicane, sorry.
Jones just got overtaken by Maxwell there, but let's have a look. This is going to become a 4-car battle before too long. Nielsen does not go for that move, very close to contact.
Oh, Ferrari's off.
No.
Oh dear. Well, he's still in the lead now. Oh, he's taking big damage on the right hand side there. We'll see if we can get a replay for you folks. Oh dear, the 191 of Ferrari in a Porsche, of course, has now got Ivo Laubscher. The Swift Swiss is in the background, and well, he's on time for this win here, because Andrea Ferrari is nursing a lot of damage on the front right here. Now we're going to get a good example here of how much that's affecting him in a straight line. Laubscher looks, yeah, look at the run he's got here, and this is just going to be mirror signal maneuver. See you later, good night. Ivo Laubscher goes through. Oh, what a pity for Ferrari. Now the main thing is now, can he hang on, as we see Nick Madsen makes a move on Jones, and he puts a car between him and Nielsen. That's critical, Dane.
Absolutely. Is it going to be like that for long though? Jones didn't have the best exit at all. I think Nielsen's going to get round his outside through the first kink in towards turns 1 and 2, and he's made that move pretty effortlessly. He's now right back on the back of Madsen.
Oh, well, I tell you what, Dane, I've already thought of my headline for tomorrow's race report: Danish duel. There you go. I always like a bit of alliteration with my race report headline. So let's see what happened to Roberto Ferrari. My apologies, I called him Andrea Ferrari. I do apologise. Roberto Ferrari. Oh, just a tiny mistake. There's such a small mistake with such big consequences. That's gutting.
Absolutely, but it means Laubscher, race winner for the first race of the season, of course, back at Alton Park. And he is now... Wow.
That was close. Do you know what? The presence of mind between those two guys there was amazing. Obviously a little mistake from Nielsen, but the way he gathered it up, but also the way that Nick Madsen didn't crash into him. I mean, these guys, their lap times are obvious. You can see how fast they are. But I think that that sort of nearly incident there, Dane, proves just what sort of level these guys are operating on. Because most time, that would have been a crash.
Absolutely. 100%. 8 and a few minutes to go. And that battle definitely heating up, as is this one. Walker trying to get past McCauley.
Is McCauley going to let him have it? Is he going to pancake him into the wall? Oh, he did not give him any room there. Daniel McCauley, Logan Walker did not appreciate there being squeezed into the wall like that. That was it. Well, we are in Canada. That was almost like an ice hockey body check there, Dane. Oh, we're going to nearly had a retaliation there. Wow, brilliant racing between these guys.
Still flashing the headlights as Walker. Really wasn't happy with that.
Must be a BMW driver.
Oh, who's that? Oh, that was Maxwell. Oh, trying to make a move from Ferrari. Ferrari's dropped back 6 seconds.
Yeah, he's in trouble. big trouble. He's just got to try and get this car to the finish now in some sort of position, but what could have been for Roberto Ferrari built up a really strong lead. Now this is, look at that, there's all the time gone, 2.8 seconds. So what can Maxwell do here? He's got big company behind from Madsen, and Nielsen, who goes up the inside, leans on the side of Madsen. They're side by side, and Madsen snips across the edge of Nielsen there, defending really fiercely. He knows he cannot give Nielsen an inch because he will get by. They're going to be so close, coming down into the Wall of Champions chicane.
Is it going to be side by side? 2 rows back. Madsen's going to get stuck behind Ferrari. Maxwell got ahead, up into second. Ferrari still in third. Ferrari spins off. Oh, and
Jones as well.
Jones managed to catch it before hitting the wall. At this point for Ferrari, though, is it not worth taking a fast repair?
It's such a tricky one, isn't it?
Oh,
It's
so close between these two. That was a tiny bit of a tap there. I think that was more netcode than actual contact. But that could be crucial now that Nielsen's ahead. Can Madsen actually stay? Can Madsen try and make a comeback?
Maybe. I mean, that was just. I'm sure that was not. That was definitely not intentional there from Nielsen. Just almost a byproduct of how close they were racing. They come into the Senna S's. Madsen moves across, takes his line. Oh, I think you're spot on there with the netcode there, Dane. Just that. I mean, it's millimeters worth of netcode, but it was enough just to give that little nudge. Now, Laubscher's had an incident. Look at Laubscher. Ivo Laubscher has got damage and he's going slow. What has happened? Oh, no. Oh, has he had a technical? I don't believe it.
I think that was because that wheel went dead straight very quickly. Let's run on board.
Watch the wheel. Watch the steering wheel, and you'll see if we can get a shot of that. What happened? Oh, this is devastating if that's what's happened. So he's going around. Quite the thing. A little bit of a scrub there. Into the chicane we go. Oh, this is like watching a ship going towards an iceberg. Oh. No, he just pancakes the wall. And I think at that point he knows it's game over. I don't think it is a technical failure, Dane. I don't know. Do you see anything different there?
No, I see what you see there. I think just unfortunate for him, just got a bit on the grass and.
Do you think he maybe got a meatball flag and he had to tow, perhaps?
Possibly. That steering wheel definitely was bent. Had it hit it at the wrong angle, hit the wall at the wrong angle. Maxwell under pressure from Nielsen. Nielsen, this is his favourite corner to overtake though. And he'll try and get a car between himself.
Oh, look at Madsen.
And Madsen following him through though. He's saying, not having any of it. Oh, that was close to contact though, and that's going to allow Nielsen to extend that gap.
Oh,
Maxwell spins.
Oh my word.
He caught it. Lewis Ward up into third. Lewis Ward's done an amazing job to get back up to third.
Well, my word. Sam Fitzpatrick, your usual co-commentator, Dane, I hope he's listening. I've stolen his microphone. He's not getting it back. This is great fun. This is fantastic stuff here at Montreal. Such close. Who says you can't have good racing on street circuits? This is brilliant. So, Madsen there, that was really, really interesting how he'd seen Nielsen just making that same manoeuvre and he thought, I'll just follow in behind him, and he got through. So, Nielsen now into the lead and sitting in a good spot to challenge for a double victory, but it's taken two guys to make big mistakes in front of him.
That it has. So then, now leading with less than a second, and that gap is actually coming down a little bit between himself and Madsen. So that's going to be a little bit interesting now. Can he pull away?
Well, let's see. Let's see. Can Nick Madsen have anything to say here about the number 5 of Kevin Nielsen? It's been an amazing duel here in the sun here at Montreal. And Lewis Ward, I mean, I feel like we haven't said much about him. He's done a great job. He had an early slowdown penalty, and you got to think that without that slowdown penalty, he would have been right there with these guys as well. Once again, Montreal slowdown penalties served for drivers who just go over track limits. It's probably the most fierce track in the whole iRacing service for handing out those sorts of penalties, along with possibly Le Mans. and that has cost Lewis Ward the chance at a victory, it would appear.
Absolutely. Let's see the difference between sector times. And I believe Madsen's closed down that gap quite considerably there. The gap is under 0.6 of a second. It was over 0.6 of a second when they started the lap. So that green indicating Madsen closing down the gap. So this is getting very interesting here. The 2 laps to go when they cross the line, I think.
Yeah, and you can see him there just pulling in millimetre by millimetre in the draft there of Nielsen. Not enough to swoop by him and take the position easily, but just allows him to get back onto the case. But the thing is, for me, then Nielsen in the twistier parts of the circuit, from the Senna S here all the way through to basically to the chicane, he has been imperious. This has been where he's really made the difference, and where he's just been that little bit better than Madsen. But Madsen is close enough where he can make a move. Now, will Madsen do the Nielsen? Will he? Oh, did he hit the wall there? Yes, he did. Look at that. Oh no, Madsen has hit the wall, and I think he have steering damage. Oh, Dane, I relate to you there. Do you think he's maybe got a bit of an issue there with steering, perhaps?
We'll see right now. It's difficult to tell in the corners. A little bit on the grass, yes. I would say yes, that looks too far to the right, because this car's steering is pretty... Yep, definitely has steering damage. That's why he's just gone all sorts of... Is he going to come and collect someone off the track? No, he's not. Lewis Ward up into second. And that has pretty much guaranteed Nielsen the win if he can carry on there, I think.
Wow, now this will be fascinating to see if again, for those who are new to sim racing and iRacing, a bit like in the real world, will throw what is known, or is notoriously known as the meatball flag, which basically means you have your damage is too much and you need to come in and repair it. You would see it in the real world as well. But if Nick Madsen has got away without that, he can limp that car to the end. If not, he's got to come in, get his fast repair and get back out in the circuit, and he'll lose a ton of places. And in this championship, that is not what he needs. He goes around, so he's obviously not been given the meatball flag as we go on to the final lap, and it's looking like Kevin Nielsen is going to be the guy who's made the least mistakes, the guy with the pace. So we see Perry here looking up the inside of Ferrari, the limping Ferrari, and just behind Ferrari, Manzano. Oh, that almost Petronas-like livery there. Makes a bit of an error. And, well, Kevin Nielsen, he has been impressive today, Dane. A proper champion's drive.
Absolutely. He has done so well. Interestingly to note about the black and orange flag as it's known in the real world, or the meatball flag as we call it here. Something I learned when I was doing a NASCAR race and I got involved in a penultimate lap wreck. I was sitting in fourth in the caution flag, and I was like, well, I can make it to the end under caution. I'm not going to pit now and see what happens, because if I pit, I'm going to come last anyway. And if you cross the finish line to end the race with a meatball flag, you do not actually get a penalty.
Aha! Well, there you go. There you go. Insight from... Aha! Okay. Very good insight indeed. That is very good indeed. Okay, so Madsen now in third, but he's got Salvatore Larn charging him down. He's just got one more corner to protect, but one man who also has just one more corner is Kevin Nielsen. He comes up to the chicane for the final time. He'll want to negotiate this nice and safely, and he will have a double victory here on the streets of Montreal. Kevin Nielsen is your winner again here in Canada, with Lewis Ward in second, and Nick Madsen just limps his Porsche 911 to third place. So what could have been a disaster just gets it home in time. Larn in fourth, Maxwell fifth, and Jones, the 277 of Jones, a dominant AM class victory.
Absolutely huge margin of victory for him. Perry just crossing the line to finish second, and then Saul will finish third in the AM class. We've still got some battles to look at the state of Bob Humphrey's car and Palmley's car. They're almost exact opposites of each other, as they almost look like NASCAR modified, with the way that wheel's sticking out there.
Yeah, they certainly are, aren't they? Yeah, the 136 car there of Bob Humphrey, who's taken damage as well. Now, where is Humphrey Sr. He's just a couple of spots behind, so the Humphreys, double hump as they're known, get their way over the line, but it's going to be Humphrey Jr. who takes the inner family battle and takes the bragging rights over the breakfast table tomorrow morning.
And there is the other, Trevor Humphrey.
What do you think?
And the 220. His car looks surprisingly clean.
It does, considering it took a big smash into the wall as Maxwell has a spin in the back there, I think. Now, I wonder if we could get the Humphrey Senior and Junior together for an interview. That would be funny. Let's see if that will be possible. We'll try and get a hold of them at the end of the race for you as they come over the line. Just the last few cars to come round. And here he comes. Here comes Humphrey Senior over the line in 21st position. We're going to take a very, very short break here on Apex Racing TV for a message from our sponsor, the Virtual Racing School, and we will be right back with official results.
Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Welcome back to Montreal, where we have just witnessed a cracking motor race here in the Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup Championship. But in the end, it was the race 1 winner, Kevin Nielsen, who took the win again, a double victory in his number 5 machine, just edging out Lewis Ward by 1.2 seconds, who served a very costly slow-down penalty early in the race. Might the result have been different? We will never know. Nick Madsen got it home in 3rd despite late damage. Salvatore Larn was 4th, with Luke Maxwell in 5th. Mark Jones takes a brilliant and-class victory for Fuga Simsport in the Urban Outlaw number 277 machine. Logan Walker was 7th, a much better result for him, with Daniel McCauley, the Scot, in 8th. Tim Perry was 9th, and Roberto Ferrari, the former leader, limping it home in 10th. Joseph Saul was 11th, followed by Daniel Mazzano, Angelo De Quilis, Daniel Peham, Kev Copeland, Alok Iyengar, Bob Humphrey Jr. winning the inter-Humphrey battle. Daniel Parmalee was 18th, followed by Paul Doman and Aaron Smith. 21st was Humphrey Sr., Trevor Humphrey, followed by Thor Tullo, Vince Harley, Ivo Leibscher, Michael Schlatt, Pete Wadsworth, Jack Reeve, Ricard Carlson, Jensen Adriansens, John Trissiter, and finally, our last two on the list are Casper Lund, unfortunately taken out early, and Jeffrey Arroyan. So, we had Nick Madsen in the commentary box, but he's left us, Dane. Do you know where he's disappeared to?
I have absolutely no idea. I will try and get a couple of drivers in here for a chat, or...
Well, why don't we've got Vince Harley, so why don't we get Vince Harley in to have a chat with us? He's come into the waiting area. Let's see if we can grab him. Vince, welcome to the Apex Racing Team commentary box. That was a pretty eventful race for you there in race 2. Tell us a bit about it. Vince, do you have a copy? Okay, so we have a little bit of a technical issue with Vince Harley, but we do have Nick Madsen, so why don't we get him in for a chat? Let's have a try. Nick, welcome to the Apex Racing TV commentary box. Do you have a copy?
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, welcome. Well, that was a fierce battle out on the streets of Montreal today. What were your thoughts on your day?
Yeah, it was a really, really tough race today. Casper did a great job. He's really, really quick, and Kevin also. Yeah, qualifying was third, was quite okay. And in the first race, I just tried to stick with the two fast guys in front. And Casper made a little mistake, getting a slowdown, which gave me the position P2, and tried to hold it as good as possible. But in the end, I had to give up because those guys are not fighting for the championship. So I was really thinking about the championship points today. So yeah, it was a tough one.
Yeah, it was certainly very, very difficult out there. And unfortunately, in that battle with Kevin Nielsen in the closing stages of race 2, just had a little rub with the wall. Did you have the dreaded meatball flag there at the end, or were you able to limp it home without that?
No, I did not. I think iRacing updated a bit on the damage model, so you actually can hit the wall and still continue. But yeah, I gave it everything in race 2 also. Having a good start, was cars everywhere, and I was really taking it easy because of thinking of getting good championship points. And we had some infights coming up through the field, and at the end we were P1 and P2, and I gave it everything to try to overtake him, but unfortunately I hit the wall on second last lap, and which cost me a not straight steering. So at the second last lap in the second chicane, I clipped the grass a bit when braking, and went over the chicane over the gravel. So yeah, in the end P3, I'm really happy with that. Good points for the championship.
Indeed. Well done, Nick. It was. You got it, like you say, a good haul of points. Before we let you go, who would you like to shout out to on Apex Racing TV?
You guys, always great time watching the replay after today, yeah, and great commentary always. So thanks guys, thanks a lot.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words. We really do appreciate it, Nick, and looking forward to chatting again next time.
For sure.
So that was Nick Madsen coming in to tell us his thoughts on a pretty frantic day here at Montreal. So that's about all we have time for on Apex Racing TV for tonight. Before we go, we must give a huge thank you to our sponsors, the Virtual Racing School. If you want to improve your on-track performance with over 50 data packs for road and oval racing, setups, track guides, data analysis software, and even 101 coaching, give the guys at Virtual Racing School a call. If you thought, oh, those are cool graphics that our producer Marco Barbonera is using on the broadcast tonight, well, you can use the very same ones for your own streams and your own racing. Just contact SDK Gaming and have a look at what the software can do for you. And finally, if you want to get involved with us here at Apex Racing Leagues, have a look on our website, and we would love to welcome you to one of our series. We have series for F3 here in the Porsche Cup, GT, and also touring car as well. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again on Apex Racing TV.